Well, hello and welcome back to another episode of Cities with John. I'm This Old Gamer and I am thrilled to have you along for the ride today as we are all set for Downtown episode 24. What a lovely day on Sloop John Island. Hank is your mayor, and so far nothing has really changed without any surprise by me, of course. We are all set for some residential area around all these businesses and offices, and look out, you're not going to make that! You made it. Stick around.
This Old Gamer is paid for by contributions by viewers like you, and by...
This is your captain speaking, This Old Gamer. Hey, have you checked out my new video of City Skylines collaborating with Microsoft Flight Simulator? Well, it was very time consuming and it's gotten a lot of views, but I would love for you to check it out as well if you have not. And join me for a peaceful flight over Sloop John Island. Wait a minute, was this a legit commercial? Well, I hope everybody out there is doing well, that you're staying safe, happy and healthy. So let's break down what we are doing on today's show with This Old Gamer Telestrator. So this area right here, we're going to be putting some large condominium type buildings. Now over here, this area is going to be where we have a lot of entertainment type stuff. The arena is probably going to be in this general area. And I've really been looking forward to putting in some residential districts. Let's get rid of that shadow I just circled. But having a lot of people down here and a lot of foot traffic is something that I really would like to implement in this downtown. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. So, to start off, we're just going to destroy everything we built on the last episode. And we are trying out a new set of roads today, somewhat new. The big roads, as they are called, big suburban roads. These are by Hockenheim 95, which makes he makes a lot of different road sets, and these are really interesting because you can do a lot of things with them, and they kind of intertwine with each other. I unfortunately didn't really know about that until I started messing with them, and per the usual that happens with roads a lot of times, it's kind of trial and error, and there's so many different roads on the workshop that a lot of times you end up having to kind of redo some things after you've put your buildings down, which can be a bit of a bummer. So what I was trying to prevent here was doing that. I wanted to try to actually get the roads all exactly the way I wanted them before I started putting in the buildings. And what I found out is these do kind of connect differently than any other roads that I've really messed with. Now, I have not done the CSUR mod. It seems pretty interesting, but it also has a whole nother thing that I would have to really learn and get into on a big scale, and I just don't think I am interested in doing it. So anyway, these roads are pretty cool. I think I called them suburban roads. I think they're actually called urban roads, but nevertheless, big roads, look for them. They have like an American flag theme on the letters, and Hockenheim has come up with some beauties here, but there are a few little issues, and I'll show you those as we go. So what I was thinking here is I just kind of wanted, since this is such a huge boulevard, I kind of wanted to do something different with it. So instead of using, and when I say huge, I mean it's going to be used a lot, and it's a focal point. So I wanted to use something a little different. The first thing you'll notice about these roads, they don't have any sort of arrows, markings, stoplights, any of that. So I'm putting in my own stoplights, which is actually kind of cool. The only thing about these, and I'm sure there's stoplights out there that are animated, but these are not. So they are not going to change from green to red or whatever. You're just going to be stuck at the light forever, or you're going to go forever. but it's kind of cool putting in these old custom lights. Putting in the street arrows also, I like that as well, because then you can sync that up with your traffic manager, presidential edition. You can sync it up with your TMPE mod, so you can sync your lanes and all that. And then I also use this somewhat new mod that you guys probably haven't seen me use all that much, but the intersection marking tool by Mac Surgery. Mac Surgery. It's not Mac Surgery, I know that. More surgeries later on in the episode. Stick around for those surgeries. So with the intersection marking tool, it completely takes out the need for putting down decals for crosswalks, all sorts of different things. You can put lane markings, lines as barriers, and all that kind of stuff. So I haven't used it all that much. It's obviously a powerful mod that saves you a ton of time and can give your streets more of a unique look. And on this episode, I did use this mod quite a bit as I'm using it here. Furthermore, with this mod, like I said, you do give your streets a unique look, but you can also make easy crosswalks. You can actually put a filler over the entire intersection, which we do a little bit later in the episode. So it's just awesome. Change the colors of your crosswalks, all sorts of different things. Really a great mod. So check it out if you haven't already. These intersections are going to be incredibly busy, lots of traffic going in and out. Some of these roads are not the widest, some are. So the previous road there that came onto this boulevard is obviously very narrow, so needed some turning lanes. Now maybe this one, not so much, but you can still use it for the crosswalks. Here I really implemented it, as you can see, with all these different turning lanes. Again, with these roads, having to put in the arrows, not a big deal. I kind of like that. It allows me to put in a little bit, forces me to put in a little bit more detail. Again, all those stoplights are just props, so they are not functional. Now the intersection is still functional, and for those of you who might not know, junctions on this game just work as junctions. It doesn't matter if they have stoplights or whatever. That's all just graphic elements. It's a functioning stoplight, even if the graphic isn't there for a stoplight. Does any of that make sense? So let's get to these condos that we're building down here. I have found a lot of great condos here recently. I've been somewhat on a search for them and came up with a lot of cool ones. Of course, what was kind of funny about this is some of the ones I used in this episode, I believe it's the Vancouver condominiums, I immediately saw on a very popular City Skylines channel. I was thinking, well, I'm just going to look like I copied right off them, but I didn't, because I don't watch other YouTubers really. I just kind of do my own thing. Can't you tell? I'm doing a lot of intermixing with these buildings. So using, like I'm doing here, using these smaller buildings to go right inside of the bigger one, which more or less, it looks like to me they were designed to do that anyway on these particular ones. Now, you can get as creative as you want with that kind of thing. You can mix the buildings however you want. However, I will advise you gotta be a little careful, because sometimes it can get a little complicated, or buildings just don't really fit together. So putting in this fence, I'm trying to keep a lot of these areas down here that have residents, give them all a little bit of privacy. I mean, they're going to be right in the heart of downtown. This is basically like, this 5-star interchange is kind of like the mecca of downtown's intersections, at least. So I kind of debated about, do I really want to put big condos right here, or do I want to do something different? So I decided to go with the condos, obviously. My population has been pretty stagnant. I've been like at 62,000, 63,000 for forever. So I'm hoping that these buildings also help me get the population going. The one thing I will say, and I haven't tried the realistic population mod, but the one thing that with Plop the Growables, it just feels like your population just does not go up, even though these condominiums are like 200, 300 people a piece. It doesn't give him much of a boost in everything that I've built prior to this. I mean, we've been around this same number for quite some time. I don't know if that's like the vanilla game in me caring about that. I mean, does it really matter when you're doing this kind of build? I don't know. You can talk amongst yourselves about that one, but I don't know if Plop the Growables has something to do with that or what. But anyway, I'm just really enjoying building this downtown. I can't believe we are already on downtown episode 24. If I had to take account of the entire series of everything I put out there, I'm probably close to 50. Can we just celebrate? This is the 50th episode on my channel. Wow. Congratulations to me. 50th episode. So, what are y'all doing for Thanksgiving? Your plans have been canceled? Yeah. A lot of people still traveling. Just be safe out there, folks. Things are getting a little rough in some areas of the world and a lot of areas. And if it's not happening in your neck of the woods, it can happen because that crap spreads pretty fast out there. I am enjoying my current retail situation. This is Black Friday number 22 in a row in retail coming up. So I am excited about that one. And I love the fact that the coronavirus is a thing, because Black Friday and the coronavirus seems like such a wonderful pairing in so many ways. I'm sorry, you don't want to hear about that. You want to hear about these bushes I'm putting down. I'm going into a lot of detail around these condos because sometimes I've made the mistake of not doing as much detail around residential areas as I do like businesses. So I'm trying to add a little bit pizzazz and details using these props. We got these tables and of course umbrellas because it is constantly sunny on this island. Oh, it's so annoying. It just is. It's never cloudy. Never a cloudy day. Could we just get some rain every once in a while? So, yeah, just like a little privacy wall around here. And just putting in those little details here or there just to make things work out. I had a huge jam session last night, so my voice is a little raspy. I do apologize. Got a buddy that comes over and we do a lot of cover songs and I sing a lot and it's a lot of fun. He plays the drums and I play guitar. Katie is actually a very good musician. She plays the guitar as well and sings along, so it's just a lot of fun, but my voice is gone. All right, so this little block, and you can see we have these like real tight blocks. So these buildings here are all Smiley creations. Now you might have noticed I just built that and then I just scrolled over it and copied and pasted it on the other side. Usually no big deal, something I do all the time, but something else I found out about these roads is they're not really zonable roads. It does not recognize it as roadside. It oh my gosh, I was trying to say it recommends you put them path side, and recommends is not even the right word. So the word that I didn't even really need to use is the one I screwed up. So it wants to put these buildings path side using Plop the Growables. So I put it up against the other side, that other road, the little back road there, I guess. It was fine. So I copied and pasted it from there. Well, that does not evidently work, which is not got to do specifically with these roads. But I always thought you could just copy and paste them and they were good to go. But I guess because those buildings are facing the urban road that is non-zonable, those buildings wouldn't light up. Now they were still functional. I always check, I always turn it to nighttime and make sure like the lights work in buildings sometimes, because I have built a bunch of buildings and realized that I'd have like 5 buildings in a row, but the game will, just like with colors, like paint colors on buildings, it does the same thing with lights. So sometimes the lights were like a green look, and sometimes they were a yellow look, and sometimes they were like a white look. It would be the same exact building. So these buildings would not light up at night, and I ended up having to kind of tear them down and redo them, which I did not do on camera. But yeah, that's why I always recommend when you're doing like a detail build and using plop to growables and stuff like that, always turn it to nighttime and take a look at what it looks like, because you might be surprised. So another thing too, as you can see, there's some weird little jaggy edges right there in the grass. There a lot. Whoa! Look at that! Freaking Olympic runner running right into the other lane of traffic. That was really fast. But the jaggies will cover up with these palm trees. Not really a big deal, but I'm kind of 50-50 on these sidewalks with grass on either side. I just feel like it's kind of, I don't know, you have to build around it. And of course, these are urban roads. I'm using them in a downtown. If you had them around a large urban area of your map, probably wouldn't have to worry about that as much, but I'm still, get off of the hedge. I'm still having to somewhat deal with it, excuse me, through having to place these buildings down on a different road and then move them over to the urban roads. So just a few little workarounds here or there. They look really cool. Like, I like the colors of them. I guess the brightness, I should say, of the lines and stuff. It looks really realistic, very American. American roads. So I like that a lot. But yeah. So, ooh, we have an emergency here. I'll sink that down a little bit. Whoa, we have a lot of emergencies, evidently. What in the world is going on here? I wonder if I have a pollution issue. Everybody's sick. We're too close to the ocean. Okay, this has been happening for a while. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We are going to build a hospital. Didn't plan on building a hospital today. But some days, you know, you don't plan on building a hospital, but you still do build a hospital. Oh, if I had a dime for every time that's happened. I'm actually using this vanilla hospital. I kind of like the looks of it. Then I'm putting in this workshop doctor's office to look like it kind of got added on maybe to the original hospital at some point. Oh, this is a really cool place for this, and it kind of fits in here. We're going to put in like a little concrete road just to give that kind of a more realistic looking entrance. We'll connect it over here too. We'll go underneath that overpass. No, it won't. All right. Yeah, so let's see. Parking lot. And again, you might have just noticed I had to put that parking lot against the other road, then turn it around to that road. Maybe there's something going on, because those roads are not part of the urban set. I don't know. I should quit talking about all these urban roads. They're really cool, though. I like them a lot. More condos in this little square, oblong square. Oblong rectangle. Oblong rectangle was actually a famous poet back in 1749. That's today's factoids because I rip off other YouTubers. Oh, BonBonB, what would we do without him? So I'm going to put a big parking garage and kind of just place it underneath these condos where there's just kind of like it's part of it. I think it actually works because you can't really tell that there's, it just looks like there's parking there and stuff, and nobody's gonna be looking down there, right? I don't know. It fits well here. I think it just looks like the parking garage that is specifically for these condos and these condos only. Now, one thing about all these parking garages, they don't really have an entrance. You can put a road going into them. However, this one is so close to the intersection there, that wouldn't be possible. So we're just going to throw down some ploppable concrete, and then we will just put some tire marks on it like that. Maybe a little line here. Raise it up just a tad. I do have to fix some of the height adjustments of these buildings so this parking garage doesn't look too janky on top, but we'll fix that later. Now we're just gonna make like a path here. Use this park path. That might not work. Let's change it to an invisible path. How about that? Just cover it with some decals. There we go. You know what? Let's just put decals all over this corner. Lots of awkward angles on today's episode. Lots of awkwardness in general. There we go. Couple of more. Oh, they're just kind of creeping into the garage there. I don't really care. 3 palm trees and some little curbs because they're obviously not growing directly out of those tiles. And just add a few more for good measure. Let's go ahead around the building like this. This will open up this corner here for something. Maybe, ooh, I could build a fountain. Yeah, I could build a fountain. I love building fountains. Just gonna do like this. Cover up the awkwardness of those decals. Let's see, how about some bollards? People protectors. Just go down. This is gonna be a busy street, and it's a one-way street. People seem to go a little faster. All right, fountain time. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. What the Wow. It wiped out buildings that weren't supposed to be
I want pretzel. I'm gonna eat a pretzel.
I can't believe Hank won.
Like, I totally voted for Sharon.
See, if you persevere, you will ultimately get your fountain done. Oh, if you like the fountain or any of my fountains, please check out probably every episode because it seems like I always end up building one. Luckily, before that catastrophe, I did save. You always want to save. It's kind of the golden rule of City Skylines is to save before you work on any sort of water, anything, whether it be messing with the sea level or using the tides mod, any of that stuff. You definitely want to save beforehand. So I was able to reload the game and get everything squared away. The mistake I made with that was the actual capacity level excuse me, was too high. So it ended up making that gigantic tidal wave. And something that was kind of strange about it was it actually destroyed several buildings. I've got the no demolition, no demolished building mod where buildings are not supposed to ever go away. They're supposed to just be stable no matter what, but apparently that didn't work in this case. So we're kind of finishing off this episode with just this little awkward curve here. I was thinking about maybe doing the other side of the street near the beach first, just because this is a pretty awkward little stretch of road. Not to go back yet again to the urban roads, but you might notice on the boulevard here, the right side of the road is just lines. Instead of passing lines, it's just solid lines, as you see there. Not really sure why that is. This 4x2 road is the only one that is like that. So yeah, I ended up changing it after getting this entire thing done. I ended up changing it to a 3x3 road with a 4x3 part of it kind of entering that 3x3 part. So it all worked out. Look how ugly this little vanilla green is here. We have got to cover this up. I appreciate the fact that there is a flower bed built in, but yeah, that's pretty bad. So again, here's some of these jankies I was talking about that happens with this road. I'm not really sure why that is happening, but we will find a quick way to fix it. So these are a couple of office buildings, about 4 or 5 office buildings here. The one with the little orange heartbeat looking thing on it is going to be a kind of like tie in to the hospital, like a medical supply place is what I was kind of thinking. And these other ones are just random offices that are here. These buildings look a little bit older, so maybe they were built here when initially they zoned this area for office space and ended up turning it over to residential, just because, you know, you could really charge an arm and a leg for condos facing the beach, which I imagine it does cost an arm and a leg to live in some of the nicer places down by the ocean. I'll never know, but I would like to live by the ocean. That'd be kind of nice. I'm not a big ocean person, but to just sit on the beach or just have access to a beach every day, yeah, sign me up for that. I'll take that any day of the week. So kind of throwing in like a little bit of a electrical transformer building here, and then just kind of disguising it with this wall. Just kind of wanted to put something a little bit extra in behind here, as we got some surface glitching going on. And this concrete pad is going to serve as the foundation to a large sign for Silver Fox Medical Supplies. See, told you. So we've got everything else done over here. I'm just kind of adding some some final details to this area. This wave tiki bar place, whatever you want to call it, is right next to this hotel, very Miami looking hotel. And then we have this club set up right next to another office building. So a little bit of some entertainment here closer to the ocean, but this will not end up being like the main entertainment portion of downtown. That's going to be over by the arena, or as you might know it as the Turkey's Neck. That area will have most of the entertainment districts. I'm also going to go back, and as far as these roads go, again, back to the urban roads, I'm going to get rid of the generic street lights. Here's one of these little glitches, and what better way to get rid of a glitch than put up some warning cones. Warning, you're about to walk over a glitch. Alright, so this building Minook building. So how about a big old M in the front, and we're using this gravel curb here. Something a little bit different than the grass looking curb. And there we go. Let's see. Just throw in some trees here on the side, right in front of that employee lounge. Here we have another parking garage entrance that we're actually going to do a similar method and just throw down some ploppable asphalts. Ronix69 is a hero of mine. If it wasn't for this ploppable asphalt, ploppable concrete, all that kind of stuff, that just saves you so much time and effort in making these little entrances. A lot of rumors floating around about City Skylines 2 possibly in development, and one thing that I think that would be just an excellent fix would be finding ways to have better entrances and exits to buildings. It's just a little bit, you kind of have to make it up yourself, I guess. So here I'm making a parking sign. I'm using actually a tram line, I believe that is a tram line, rail line type sign, and just making a big red P. Parking! P. Well, that about does it for this episode of Cities with John. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed building it. Episode 24 is in the books, and we are getting closer and closer to finishing up downtown and moving on. I might move on before I finish downtown. Would that blow everybody's minds? I don't know. We'll see you next time. I'm This Old Gamer. Bye-bye.